2, 1.
Hello, my name is Gala, and I'm gonna be showing off the Blood Will Tell Tezuka Osamu's Dororo speedrun. I'm gonna be showing off any percent. And to get started, I'm gonna press new game and then I'll tell you when the timer starts. Okay, I'll let you know. So when I press story mode, the timer will start. So in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, welcome! This is Blood Will Tell Tezuka Osamu's Dororo. This was released on the PlayStation 2 in 2004, if I remember correctly, and it is a action-adventure game. So the title, Blood Will Tell Tezuka Osamu's Dororo. So Tezuka Osamu is the creator of the story for this game, which was, I'm pretty sure, written and created in the 1960s. So it's a pretty old story. Tezuka Osamu is a very legendary manga writer and animator as well. He also created Astro Boy, so if you haven't heard of Dororo, maybe you have heard of Astro Boy, because that is very popular. So this is the tutorial. The first 3 minutes of the game are a tutorial, just getting used to the controls and things like that. So this will give me an opportunity to explain a bit about the story, because it is a pretty big part of the game. So there once was a feudal lord or lord of Japan who made a pact with the demons of Japan in order to gain power, to gain more power and wealth in the land. And in order to do so, he made a pact with the demons. In exchange for his firstborn child's body parts, he was able to make the pact and the deal with the demons. So his firstborn child, as a baby, lost 48 of his body parts, his organs and his muscles and all the things he needed to live. So they were taken away from him and given to the fiends. Now the baby, deformed and without its organs, was sent into a river by his mother, and that baby, still alive, was discovered by a medicine man or physician who made that child prosthetic body parts in order to live. He was a medicine man, or physician, so he gave that poor baby the ability to still survive and live. Now, as this baby grew up, he learned how to fight, and the physician put weapons into his limbs. As you see, the character, he has blades in his arms. These were given to him by the man that saved him. His name is Jukai, and he is actually the narrator in the tutorial. The game doesn't tell you that, but yeah, it's him. He's the one that narrates the whole game. So now that that baby is older, his name is Hyakimaru. He is the protagonist of this game, and he is now on a mission to defeat the 48 fiends that stole his body parts away from him. So that's the whole premise of the story and the game, and the whole objective is for him to get his body parts back.
Use it sparingly. Oh, I almost forgot.
Yeah, so that's like the whole premise of the story, and even though there are 48 fiends or demons in the game, 48 bosses, for the speedrun, we're only going to be versing about half of them for any percent. So he doesn't get all his body parts. You also get a different ending if you get all the body parts. So for any percent, we get the any percent ending instead of the all fiends ending. Yeah. Because for all fiends, you have to backtrack quite a bit, and yeah, go to different parts of the levels and revisit levels and things like that. So that run is about I think it's an hour or so longer. Or quite a bit longer, yeah. Now, let's get into the gameplay. So right now the game is in black and white. There is a reason for that. I'll get to explain later. For the start of the speedrun, what we're going to be doing is tapping the enemies along the way. In the tutorial, the narrator mentioned that if you defeat fiends, your weapons will level up. Which is true, but not entirely, in that you don't actually have to defeat them, you just have to hit them. So, progressing through the first part of the speedrun, it's really important to hit enemies along the way to get the blades leveled up, because if you don't, you will be severely underleveled and bosses will take a lot longer of time. So, it might seem slow in a speedrun to be like, oh, why are you hitting enemies along the way? But it's faster to do it that way than to, yeah, not do that. So this fight, there are these little bugs. Get introduced to these little bug enemies. Gonna be trying to just hit them and defeat them all. It's really good if enemy placement is in such a way that they are really close together, because then I can kill multiple close to each other if I do an attack that continues after it. You can also make enemies die faster by hitting their body on the floor after they die, because their body will disintegrate faster. Yeah. Also, because it's PlayStation 2, there are quite a few load screens, so there will be quite a bit of loading, but this run is really chill and nice, so I still like to do it. We're coming up to the first boss. The first fiend that Hyakimaru comes across to get one of his body parts back. Now for boss fights, for a lot of the boss fights in the game, at least in the start, we're going to be doing this slashing move where Hyakimaru spins around with both of his blades that are on his arms. This move is very good for getting multiple hits, and enemies take more damage when you hit them from behind. For this boss fight, you want to try and just get him continuously rotating around and hitting him from behind. Now that he's defeated him, he's getting his first body part back. If you can guess what it is his vocal cords. So now in the game, unlike before this point, Hyakimaru will be more vocal in combat, and also he is able to talk, which was something he couldn't do before. Very good. Now there are some humans on this bridge that are getting harassed by some fiends, and Hyakimaru is here, so he's gonna get rid of them. This also explains that, like, in the game, there are points where, in order to progress, you need to do fights. Because there's a barrier. Oh, there's another one here. These guys are very spaced out. Typically they're not like this, but that guy in the back was, going somewhere. That's alright. Now in this cutscene you meet Dororo. Dororo is a young girl who is a thief, and she wants to steal, I'm pretty sure she wants to steal our sword or something like that, if I remember correctly. So she wants to tag along and follow us. So throughout the course of the game, she is our friend. She becomes our friend, and she's really cute. She'll also be helping throughout the world to help us with fights and things like that, and this is the first one that we have with her. She gets grabbed and by this fiend, so we have to rescue her from it. Now this fiend has a really big head, and the head is the weak point. You can stagger on the head as well as get a lot more damage, so for the speedrun we try and hit the head as much as possible. So Dororo is now freed. Very good. Now, Dora in fights is actually really powerful. She is not to be underestimated because she can do a lot of damage. This is called a spirit move. It gets explained in the tutorial. It is a really large move that does like a big circle attack around. It is kind of unstable to control. It's really hard to control his movements during that. And it doesn't always hit correctly with the hitbox. But in some moments, especially in the early game, it is really powerful to use. So at some points, we want to make use of that ability. Now, I think there's just a few cutscenes coming up because they're now traveling a little bit to the next chapter that's going to be happening. So we just had like the prologue and now we're getting closer to the first chapter of the game. We also get an explanation about Dororo. So Dororo, you can command her to go in several different modes. Right now she is in attack mode, which you can tell by the bottom right hand corner. There is a square with a fist in it that has a red background. That means that she is in attack mode, or that we're asking her to help us fight enemies. For the speedrun, we want her to stay in that mode, and thankfully it's the default one as well, so we don't have to change it. You can have her do things like explore the area or focus on collecting items. You can do things like that, so she will go around and do that for you. But for the speedrun, it is really good to have her in attack mode because she is really powerful. She does a lot of damage. You can't really control how she plays in single player.
Save the game here.
If you put a second controller in the PlayStation 2, you can have like a co-op partner to play as her during fights and things like that. But for the speedrun, we want her in attack mode so that, yeah, when she does attack, hopefully she will attack well and hit the enemies during fights, because yeah, she will really help with damage. Just gonna be hitting these enemies along the way. Want to make sure that my swords level up while going through. It's also really satisfying to be able to defeat an enemy in one of these attacks as well. This enemy up here I don't hit because there's an enemy that drops down right near them. Like that. They're very fast and don't want to get stumbled by them. Because the thing that you lose the most time from in this speedrun is getting knocked back. It gets a lot worse in endgame, but yeah, try not to get knocked back. Throughout the world, there are stones or barrels that will have items inside them. That stone had spirit up, which is a spirit candle, which will increase the spirit meter, which is the blue meter under the health bar. Want to make sure that I have a bit more for the next fight that's coming up. It will be important. Now we're at chapter 1. So we come across this village and they get captured and put to get eaten by Scourge, who is this demon down below. Now for fighting him, I want to stay on his left side if possible. He's moving around very weirdly. And I want to do these jump attacks. If you stay on his right side, he does that jump, so it's really annoying if I can't get to his left side. Eventually, he will want to get onto the wall. I want to try and get these hits on him correctly. Sometimes you can miss hits and it's not very nice. Try and use the gun in his arm a little bit, and then when he stops, we'll use the cannon. I'm a bit far away. And then he's defeated. Good. I actually didn't use my spirit move there, but that's alright. I forgot. I didn't really need to, which was good. If you can make him die as soon as possible after coming off the wall again, then it's good. There are some sections in the game where you play as Dororo herself. She's doing some investigating and thieving around and looking around at what's going on. We want to figure out what's going on with this village, with them capturing Dororo and Yakimaru. So now she's going back into the manor to investigate what's going on. Some enemies here. Dororo has her own form of combat. She has a dive that she does, which is really good because it stuns. Especially for enemies like this that can spit fire or poison.
Don't mess with me.
She also says, "Don't mess with me," every time she defeats an enemy. She says that on the American version, which is what I'm playing on right now. In the European version though, she doesn't say that. I don't know why they took it away. She's not as like vocal as she is in the American version. Just a very small difference.
Someone's there!
And then in the Japanese version, she's pretty vocal as well. One thing really good about speedrunning this game is that all versions are equal. So the American version can compete with the European version as well as the Japanese version. Typically with PlayStation 2 speedrunning, American versions are considered superior because they have 60 Hz. But some European PlayStation 2 games do have 60 Hz as an option, and this game is one of them, which makes it possible to compete in a leaderboard speedrunning setting, so the game runs at the same speed. And then Japanese as well also has 60 Hz. So yeah, it doesn't matter what version of the game you have, you can speedrun it. Very good. The American and European copies, however, are very expensive now. So I don't typically recommend buying a copy unless you're a big fan of it, because they are quite expensive. The Japanese copy, however, is pretty cheap to get. It's typically around $20–30. Whereas the European and American versions can be $300 to $400. So it's a pretty big difference in price range. So we come to this forest, and there is this troll here that the villagers don't like, but we're gonna go follow him and see what he's up to, because he wants us to follow him. He goes, "You want some?" And we're gonna see, oh, okay, I want some, I wanna see what's going on. So we're gonna follow him and see where he leads us to. The villagers think that this troll is like a demon, and especially the head of the village doesn't want the villagers getting involved with this troll. But we're gonna see where he leads us to.
My sword arms have leveled up.
Yep, very good. I better level up. There is a map in the top right-hand corner. This map is really good for figuring out your movement throughout the game. If I didn't have this map, my movement would be very bad. I'm very bad at moving. Movement in video games is like my weak point as a runner. Very unfortunate. But the map helps a lot with staying coordinated with the areas and remembering where to go. I love maps. It's very good. Okay. Now these trees are really good for getting hits on to level up the blade.
I can save the game here.
Now he just broke the fourth wall and said you can save the game there. It's true, you can. Those are the save points. Hopefully we won't use any of them, but I might use them just to make sure that I can finish this run at some points. Because there are some fights that are very punishing. So we followed him and we found a whole heap of gold. It is the villagers' money. Someone had been taking their money and putting it there. Very horrible. And the troll showed us that that was where the money was. What a good troll. He was on our side all along. He's not a bad guy. He's just been judged. So, now, because we've figured out that Dororo was captured, we have to run back and save Dororo from the villagers. The villagers have got the wrong idea, so we're gonna tell them what's up. And there's this timer and very frantic music playing to make sure that you don't take too long. I still remember when I played this for the first time, I didn't know where to go because I didn't figure out that the star on the map was where you were meant to go. And because this area is so big, I like failed this a couple of times. Because there's so many things to explore. That's one thing about this game. There's a lot of like nooks and crannies and little areas to go around. Especially later on in the game, there's some huge areas that you can just explore. And like little mob fights to do everywhere. It's a big game. This is a big game. Okay, getting close to here, there's gonna be some enemies that spawn in, so I wanna jump. Because one thing about enemies that fly down like that is if you are near them, they will stagger you. And getting staggered is very bad for the speedrun. It's slow. So hopefully not get staggered. So now we're taking Dororo as well as showing the villagers the shiny place. We're gonna be like, hey, this is where all your money is. You don't need to be poor. All your money was stolen. So we're gonna show them here. And then there's a fiend that emerges that we have to defeat. And this fiend's name is Hell Crusher. Hell Crusher has a few different moves, but he's pretty simple. The worst move he can do is teleporting, or well, jumping around. Very good, leveled up, very good. The best move that he can do is when he does the circle summon. Because then he just stands in one spot and you can hit him from behind. Now he gets another body part. And this body part is his esophagus. Beautiful. He got his esophagus back. Very good. Love that for him. Now, Yudai, who is the leader of the village, she is being very suspicious and is very upset that the villagers found their money.
The troll isn't
Being very upset. Now, why would she be upset about the villagers being happy? Well, we will find out. So, Dororo is going to do some more sneaking around Yudai's manor. So she's going to go back to investigate. So we're doing the same thing as before, but we're gonna actually adventure further since we're not gonna be getting caught by the villagers because now they know that we're not bad, we're good. I don't want to get hit by these spikes. Now there is a cannon bullet here that I'm gonna pick up. Because anything that Dororo picks up, she can give to Hyakimaru once they are back together again. This is pretty important for some of the pickups for Dororo's sections. There's quite a few pickups that she can do that Hyakimaru can benefit from. I didn't even get them. Dororo punch! Okay, now we just go through this guy, hopefully before he flames me. Also, the enemies can drop hearts, which increases her max health, as she says. But it only does it a tiny bit, so it's not too important. But there is actually a boss that she has to fight on her own later. So it's not too bad to pick up a little bit more health. Now we have a lot of zooming around to do as Dororo. She's gonna investigate and have a look what's going on. There are 2 keys that we need to collect. First is this silver key, which is going to be for a silver door. The silver door should be this way. That's the gold door. That is not the silver door. I don't know why I forgot that. It's the other way. So one thing that's different about the different versions that doesn't affect like speedrunning or anything, but the camera views are different. So the camera views in this section are different on Japanese compared to American. It's a very small difference. I don't know why it is a difference, but it is something different about the versions and I just got messed up. Because I have played both and done both, so sometimes my brain just goes the wrong way. Now from this chest, she gets smoke bombs. Now what is she gonna do with these smoke bombs? Well, something very unexpected. But we need it to get the golden key. Because behind this door here, or wall here, that we passed, there is someone guarding the golden key. So what do? We throw a smoke bomb at them and they die, I guess? I don't know. They just get wiped out. They're not even here. It's not like they passed out. They just completely disintegrate from a smoke bomb. So, yeah. I guess it's not just for vision impairment. You can absolutely get rid of someone that way. Okay. Now we go to the gold door, which is this way. And behind this gold door, there is something quite special. There is this arrow that can defeat a fiend. Hidden in Yudai's mana. And Doro's like, oh, that's cool, I'm gonna take that. So now Dororo has it. Cheeky little thief. Now she's just running and we have to go investigate the bedroom area. On this side of her bed. And that's the end of Dororo's segment here. Now we're back to playing as Hyakimaru. And that boss that we fought earlier called Scourge, that was like this big bug looking thing, is not dead. So we're gonna follow it and defeat it. And these little green droplets or slime that's on the floor is like a trail to go and defeat them. So that Hyakimaru can get another one of his body parts. There is a cannon bullet here that I want to make sure I pick up. Cannon bullets in particular are really powerful and are really good for staggering enemies. The gun is also good, but it doesn't stagger as fast because it's not as explosive. These enemies that spawn, they will charge at you once they spawn in, so you just gotta be careful not to get run over because they will stagger you. And that's not nice. Now we go this way. Because it looks like they went into the forest. Except now this path is open in the middle, which is where they went. And we won't have Dororo with us for this fight. Because she's in the manor right now. But that's alright. We can do it. Okay. So we hit the cutscene. Now we're gonna verse them. There are 2 phases to this fight. And as they get lower health, their attacks change a little bit, but for the majority, it is the same strategy. So we want to try and stay at the front of the face to the left. Getting the tongue attack that goes straight forward is very good. I'm in particular watching how Hyakimaru's hits are hitting. The red flashing means that they are hitting correctly. That was really good. He didn't even get to go away. That was very good. Yeah, the red flashing means that the hits are connecting. Sometimes you can whiff hits a lot. And I try and go on this angle from right to left so that I'm hitting more of the body. Because if you just go in one spot, often it won't hit very well. But going on a sideways angle hits more. He's doing this move with the purple bamboo. As he gets low health, he can start doing another tongue move, which is from right to left. There we go. That's good. Very good. And yeah, even though I did that spirit move quite a bit, the hitbox of how it hits is not consistent with the whole spinning. It sometimes doesn't hit, even though you think it would.
I can save the game here.
Alright, now that we've defeated them, we're gonna go and talk to the leader of the village, Yudai. And we're gonna tell her, hey, you're being mean to these villagers. What's up? So we're gonna show her what's up. And she will reveal her true form. So we have to go talk to her. Yeah, all those pickups that Dororo got, the cannon bullet and things like that, now that Hyakimaru is near her, he picks them up from her. Oh, that's really bad. So this poison slows you down. He goes into like a very feeble walk. It's not good to get hit by that, but I did get hit by it. Also, Dororo on the map is very lost. She got very lost. But when she gets too far away, she will teleport. Okay, cool.
You die.
Yeah, he says, "You've been terrorizing the village, you demon witch!" And she says, "Yeah!" Well, let's fight! So now we're gonna fight. So she shows her true form, and her boss fight is called Ogress. She is a demon that was one of the demons formed from Hyakimaru's body parts. So we gotta get his body part back. So her fight, her hitboxes for her attacks are pretty big. Yeah, see, that in particular is really big. She does this lightning move in front of her, so you want to just go behind and hit her in the back, especially, yeah, to try and stagger her. When she goes in the air, this is not good. This is the worst. We don't want her in the air because it means I cannot get hits on her. Unfortunately, Hyakimaru does not have wings and he's not a bird and he cannot fly. So we want her to stay on the floor. But she is random. She will do what she wants. She will not listen to me. Oh my goodness, I just did not aim correctly. That's alright. Come down to the floor, please. Particularly when her health gets lower, she starts flying quite a bit. This is just the first phase. Second phase will start when all this yellow is gone from her health bar. Now we go into the second phase. So she's very angry, very enraged. She goes up to the top of this tower and summons some skeletons. Now what I'm going to do with the cannon is I want to stagger her. Yeah, very good. Cool. That's good. Because what will happen if you don't do that, she will keep lasering for a really, really long time. It is very bad for the speedrun. Now, I want her to stay here. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is bad. Please don't. Oh, yeah. This is very bad. Okay. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Because I should have probably tried to get her in a more stable spot, but I gambled a little bit. She is summoning another enemy. Please don't stay up there. I'm hoping Dororo, because sometimes she can throw a rock at her, but she didn't do that today. The spirit move can do a lot of damage to her when she is in one spot. Which is why I want to use it. But yeah, there is quite a bit of randomness with some of the boss fights and what they do. Sometimes it just is unlucky. But that's speedrunning. I think this is probably the first fight in the game where it's really can be very unlucky. But yeah. I also didn't play very well, so that also is contributed as well. Now the fiends are figuring out that the child survived, that the feudal lord had made a pact with. They're starting to be a bit suspicious and they're like, oh, this is not good. But Hyakimaru will continue on his adventure. Now in the speedrun, we're gonna start using not just the blades in his arms, but Hyakimaru can also just hold a singular blade. And for this part of the game, we're gonna be doing that quite a bit more. He also got his leg. He's left, I'm pretty sure, one of his legs from the Ogress fight. So now we can run. Yay! Running is so much better than walking. It's a lot faster. These skeletons in the way. Try and hit them from behind. Very good. Because yeah, you do so much more damage from behind by comparison to in front of them that it is very important to try and hit them from behind because enemies will die much faster. There is going to be a fire wheel coming after me. There he is. These wheels are horrible because they are a living pain. They don't need to do anything to do damage to you. They just need to sit there. If you hit them, you get damage because they're on fire. It's very sad, but now we're gonna have two of them. Hopefully they go into the corner. I need to manage my camera a little bit better, I think. Okay, that was good there. Dororo's hitting the other guy, which is very good. Get him, Dororo! Okay, and that's all 20 enemies done. Good. Now this is Chapter 2, Dragon Brood. Sword Dragon Brood, yeah. So this next fight that they come across, they see that these are zombie enemies that have like a sword cut sliced through them. So they figure out that someone has done this. And now they must put them to rest. These zombies. These zombies can be kind of a pain because when they block, they just are very not good. I do the spirit move to try and hit all of them. It's pretty good for getting the damage out. To get rid of them. That was good. Now another thing that you can pick up throughout the world is better weapons. This is going to be very important for the speedrun now. So we pick up the Sword of Clarity, which is level 6. Often these swords are in the stone rocks, and they greatly help increase your damage output. Very important to pick them up. Much stronger now than what we were before. Now we come across this man who is holding a very mysterious sword that is looking not good. Now we do a non-lethal battle because Hyakimaru, he will not kill humans. His sword is only for killing the demons. So in a non-lethal battle in the game, you can only use your sword that you hold. You can't use the blades in your arms. There are quite a few fights like this when Hyakimaru fights humans. So because he stumbles upon this man who is human in appearance, he does a non-lethal battle with him. And so he goes away, and Dororo was very fascinated by this guy's sword. And she goes, oh, I want to steal this guy's sword. So she's on a mission to go after him and get his sword. This platforming here always makes me a bit scared. Because when you fall down, you have to travel a long way to get back. Gonna change her equipment to rocks. So Dororo has an infinite supply of rocks. Now, when following him, typically how this plays out is that it's kind of like that game that children play called Red Light, Green Light. I think that's what it's called, where you have to sneak up behind them and try not be seen. And like they can turn around sometimes if they hear you or see you. However, what you can do for the speedrun is throw rocks at him from a distance until he's defeated. Once he's defeated, he drops his sword. And then Dororo is very happy and we can go to the next part. He doesn't even realize we're here. He doesn't even know we're here. He's like, oh, what's this rock? There we go. Yay! And we do that for the speedrun. Now that Dororo has that sword, something unfortunate happens and we have to go see what happened to her. Because Yakimaru did say don't go after that sword, but she still did. So we have to go find her. Little mischievous thief. In this barrel there's gonna be a cannon bullet that I want. And I didn't charge forward like I would want to. And in this rock, there's another sword, which is a better upgrade from what we have now. So we go from level 6 to level 8. Just want to make sure I don't get hit by them. So we get to this shrine and there's a poor lady getting harassed by Dororo. We're like, hey, don't do that. And Dororo is possessed by the sword. What I want to try and do is stay behind her. You do a lot of damage from behind. 2 light attacks and then 2 heavy attacks. You can chain her, but she moves quite a bit. Like, if you want to do this perfectly, you have to be right behind her. If you're too much on like a left or right, she will turn around to see you. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, she's gonna cry again. This is the best move that she can do. I did the wrong thing again. It's actually 3 light attacks and 1 heavy attack, not 2. I de-lock the camera and then lock it back on. She's crying again. Very good. Nice.
Dororo, I told you.
He's like, I told you not to get that sword. She's like, oh. Now we have to go find that guy because we realize that, you know, he's probably not doing too well with that sword that he wanted and had and everything. So we're gonna go find him. Now this next fight, if you're someone that plays Dark Souls, you're gonna have flashbacks. This is a fight that many people will say, oh wow, this is just like that skeleton bone wheel from Dark Souls. And yeah, it's a wheel, and it is just as painful because it is just a living fire. Dororo's doing really good though. Love that kick. So we want to try and hit the head, which is in the middle of the wheel. However, it's surrounded by fire, which makes it very hard, because if you hit the fire, you get hurt. This boss literally just needs to move to injure you. Which makes it a challenge to fight. And I'm doing a jumping attack with 2 light attacks and 1 heavy attack. Try and get the most out of it. It's just, this fight is such a pain because there are so many things that this boss can do that are just not nice. Even just looking at you is just not nice. Don't look at me! Okay, Dororo hit with a rock, that's really good. I almost have my spirit move charged. But yeah, it's just a bit of a painful fight, and sometimes it just wants to run away. Just stay there, please. Okay, this is good. I'm getting quite a bit of damage out. I didn't hit entirely how I wanted to, but I did get quite a bit of damage. Okay. Yay! The evil has been defeated. And we're getting another body part. So Hyakimaru gets his kidneys! Woo! We love kidneys. They're great. Take care of them. Now we're gonna go this way. Another cannon bullet. Pick that up along the way. So we find out that this man's name is Tanosuke, and the lady at the shrine was his sister. And she's like, oh, Tanosuke. She wants to, like, you know, she loves her brother. However, her brother is a bit of a fool that wants more power, as you do. So this sword that kind of has power over him, he also, like, mentally is not too great. So he needs to be defeated because he has been killing people and stuff that is not very good.
We have found you, Tenosuke.
Yep. So now we have quite a bit of a prolonged fight with him that has several different phases. He also has teleportation and also a lot more new moves. The whole reason why I do jump attacks is to try and get their back when I'm, like, in front of them. Because hopefully when turning around they will expose their back to me. That was a little bit too close. Because back hits just do so much more than front hits. I still was too close. My vision is not very good right now. I think I'm, like, further away than what I am. Okay, we did enough damage. Now he's going to his next phase. Similar, but he has a couple more moves, and we're also in, like, sludge, like mud. So the movement is heavily impaired. So avoiding his attacks is annoying. Best way is to jump. Interrupting him when he does that jump move is very good because when he lands, he summons spikes. So interrupting that is very good. Sometimes he will be aggressive and then other times he'll kind of go away. But he's being aggressive, which is good because that means that I can get close to him too. That move where he kind of roars and charges up the blade to do a horizontal slice is the best move that he can do for speedrunning because you can take advantage of it the most. Now this phase is a little bit weird. He will teleport back and forth to the same spot. If I go to the spot where he initially starts his teleporting, he will then just repeatedly stay in this spot instead of go to, like, other places. So we just want to wail attacks on him. I don't know why he's but yeah, that spike move is not very nice because he gets stunned quite a bit. Because if you're a distance away, he'll teleport and do an attack and then go back and repeat. Now this is the final phase. Let's see. Okay, good, I got that on him. Okay, Dororo's being an absolute champion. Get him, Dororo! Get him! She's doing great. When she's really aggressive, that can help so much with defeating him fast. Especially if she's behind him. She does very good damage. She does more damage than what we do currently. I think later on she doesn't do as much damage as we do, but at this point, she's very powerful for early games. She also can pass out, like but she doesn't die because she does revive. Now we're so close to finishing this. If Dororo would attack, that would be great. She's just standing there right now. Dororo, you were doing so good. What are you doing now? Never mind. She was like, She just spaced out for a minute. The pressure got to her. The performance pressure. Now, from defeating the Dragon Brood, Hyakimaru gets his spine. And now with every body part that he gets, his stats also increase with each body part.
Hyakimaru.
So he gets more powerful each time. Now we're on to chapter 3. And as you can tell, like on the chapter menu, there are fiends that we didn't defeat because they're side bosses. So yeah, there's a lot to explore in this game. It's a really big game. Now chapter 3 is called In the Belly of the Mountain. Or In the Mountain, yeah. So it's gonna be a mountainous area. Lots of mountains, lots of plants and trees and all that kind of stuff. And also lots of running around. Yeah. But thankfully, Hyakimaru can now run. It is rather interesting, he only has one of his legs, but he only needs one leg to run. Yeah. Very good. We come here. We find this temple or shrine. And yeah, there was a call of distress, so we're gonna see what's going on. We meet this shrine maiden called Mio. She's surrounded by these soldiers, and we're gonna take him out.
This sword was...
Yeah, he mentions how his sword is only meant for demon blood, so he's gonna do a non-lethal human battle, so he'll just have his sword here. Now these fights in particular where there's a lot of soldiers can be really overwhelming. So as soon as a soldier spawns in, they want to fight. That's how they're programmed, or how they've made them to be. They will want to walk towards you and fight. The way that they spawn after death is that they will want to spawn somewhere where Hyakimaru is not looking, typically. Within like the circumference of where he is located. Now, sometimes in battles there will be these pots that drop. Invincibility pots for mob fights are very good because even if an enemy is spawning in, when invincibility is activated you can wail on them and just be very aggressive. It saves a lot of time to be that way. They can also block. Blocking is very bad. So what I do is I do jump attacks in the air just to try and stagger them and then try and get behind them to get that back damage that is more powerful. Okay, good.
Thank you for saving us.
Yeah, she introduces herself. Mio is very cute. She's nice. Now we progress onwards. And yeah, there's also new enemy types that start emerging in this area. Cutscenes.
We farm so much.
Yeah, the poor villagers, they say they farm so much rice, but they don't get to eat any of it. Very sad. Poor villagers. The villagers always get treated so badly. And they're all thin and haven't eaten. Very sad. Poor villagers. And we get another cutscene. And we get to see why that is.
Listen, everyone.
So there's that big man there. He's telling the villagers off and making them bow. Now I'm taking a detour here, which might seem like a rather extreme detour, but down here there is a much more powerful sword than what we currently have. If you don't pick this up or use this sword, the next fights are actually quite a bit slower because you're not as powerful. So it is beneficial to pick up this sword and take this detour. So now we're just running around here. The way you run in this game is by pushing in the left joystick and then letting go, and then he runs and then you just repeat. So that's what I do every time with running. So now Hyakimaru is here and he meets he actually meets his father, but he doesn't realize it yet. And Dororo is gonna be following this guy to see what's going on with him, because he doesn't seem very nice. So she's gonna do some investigating. These little green circles that are around that kind of look like green peas, they are called, I think they're called Jukai medicine or something like that. And if you collect enough of them, you get a level up, like not a level up, like a revive. A revive? Yeah.
Looks like
If you collect enough of them, by endgame, we probably will collect enough to have a revive, which will help for late game. Now when going after the magistrate, we come to this room that has a block puzzle, or a weight puzzle. So Dororo has to push the blocks to make 146 in weight. Now to make this weight, we need 2 large boxes and then 2 small boxes as well as Dororo on the pressure plate. I should have used that box there, but that's alright. Because a large box is 50 and then the smaller boxes are, I think they're 10 or 20 each. There we go. Now we get these ones. Yeah, they're 10 each, and then Dara also gets on the scale and she makes it 146. And meanwhile, during that, we see what Hyakimaru was doing.
Mio.
So he went back to the shrine and saw Mio, and there is a fight here that we have to do. Now this guy's name is Dual Blades, probably because of how his arms are like 2 blades. He has quite a few attack moves, so I want to stay behind him. He's kind of similar to the first boss in the game, in that you can get him to continuously rotate. He can be random though and decide to do some nasty moves. Hopefully my spirit move will hit. That's the worst move that he can do. Because he surrounds himself in fire and it's really hard to hit
Sword
him.
arms have leveled up.
Thankfully we defeated him there. He gets another body part. And we see that he gets his ears. Very good.
Ah, my ear.
Yeah. Cool. And now we have another fight later for Hyakimura to do. However, we're Dororo now. So, we have to defeat one of these enemies and collect the knife. And what you can do with these throwing knives, is you can throw them onto the walls and create a little platform. Like that. Which is very good for making this effective. And now she can go through here. She goes through here.
Don't mess with me.
Don't mess with me. And she finds out that this guy has been eating all the villagers' rice. Very mean. What a guts. And Dororo, stumbling upon this, she gets captured. From finding the truth, they capture her. So now Hyakimura must go and save her. The plant got me. Some flying enemies here that shoot fire. Just have to be aware of them. Now there will be a boss fight here to the side.
Out of my way.
Since there's someone guarding the entrance to where the magistrate was. And now we have a fiend boss fight. This guy's name is Fire Golem. He does these spinning moves, but what you can do is if you stay harassing him and really getting into his face, you get these white flashes. So whenever you do an attack and there's a white flash that comes after it, it means that you are hitting a weak point. This typically happens when you're hitting a fiend's back or hitting a fiend's horn. Because a lot of the time a fiend's weak point will be its horn or something like that. So every time we hit the weak point a certain amount of times, he will go back like that. And then he is defeated. And he gets another body part. This time his stomach. Very good. So now we have to go save Dororo. Well, that was mean. Get out of my way! There's this guy here that always charges. I have to be careful of that guy. They love to charge. So Dororo is in this little prison here. We go save her.
You alright, Dororo?
Thankfully, she is okay. Now we have to defeat these fiends that are coming out. Oh. Oh, Dara got them for me. Very good. She's been a bit of a legend on this run today. Dara is also very anime in that she will say what move she's doing. Dara, uppercut! And all that kind of stuff. Now we go in here and there are these pots. Now you have to hit the third one and not the others, because the other ones will summon enemies and explosives and all that kind of stuff.
Huh? A demon.
So if you hit the correct one, the door opens. So we just hit the correct one. The other one's booby trapped. So it turns out that the magistrate is a fiend and he looks like this mushroom guy. I went ho 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 ho. That's him. Now we have to go defeat him. Because he is one of the fiends that stole Hyakimaru's body parts.
Mio.
And Mio's there. We gotta save Mio. So now we have his fight. His fiend name is Gaping Maw. To kind of like illustrate like the gluttonous attitude of this guy, because he eats so much his maw is gaping, or his mouth. Gaping mouth. So the top of his head is where we get the white flashes, so that's the weak point. So you want to jump and hit that, hit his head. Now his boss fight is very simple, but it can get very annoying because he runs like this. When he gets low health, he is like, oh no, I'm dying. So he runs around. Goes a little bit crazy.
My sword arms have leveled up.
He can also teleport as well, but thankfully he didn't do that.
Mio!
Now after his fight, there's another fight, which is a mountain hand. The whole mountain is a fiend. And we gotta defeat one of its hands. Very good, that was really good damage. You wanna try and attack the wrists. It's doing this. You gotta get rid of the rocks first before you can get to the flesh and defeat the hand. Now the mountain has two hands, so he didn't get a body part back because he hasn't defeated the whole fiend. He just got rid of one of its hands. Now they split up and Dororo is going back to the shrine. But there's some mist and some obstacles along the way that Hyakimaru has to help Dororo with. Because there is a source to the fog. Now these yellowish plants, they love to grab, so you gotta be careful not to get grabbed because it's very slow. Cannon bullets in those rocks, pick them up.
I can save the game here.
He had another fourth wall moment saying he could save the game. And now we have to verse the second hand of the mountain. This hand is a little bit different from the other one in that this one has the ability to spit fireballs out of the middle of the hand. I didn't get good rocks off of it. It's teleporting to me. The way you hit the rocks, I'm pretty sure has to be like in such a way that you are hitting like under like cutting it from the flesh up. Because if you just attack the rocks normally, it does not always work. Actually a bit finicky in that way. Okay, you're coming back. Very good. I do like this. Good. Nice. That fight can go really bad because sometimes the hand only wants to spit fireballs for the whole time. And that's really bad. Because you can hit with ranged or you can go up to it. But when you go up to the hand when it's in the middle of the arena, it will constantly go up and down. And it's very uncontrollable. The best thing it can do is when it puts its hand on sliding on the floor. That's a really good move because you can get the wrists. So this is the source of the fog. Give it lots of quick hits and it goes down. So now the fog that was blocking Dororo goes away.
Dororo, you take.
Also, they can talk to each other telepathically. Doesn't explain how, but that's a thing that they can do. I guess, like, Hyakimaru's existence doesn't entirely make sense, but it doesn't need to be cool and interesting. And I think it's cool and interesting, so yeah. This game is, well, the story of Dororo is like a dark fantasy, dark historical setting during the Sengoku period. But yeah, it's cool. I like it. And also, like, there's, you know, spiritual kind of as well with the demons and things like that. It's cool. I like it. Now we have to go to another part here with Hyakimaru. Because Dororo is now blocked by all those trees, all those plants. She can't get past. So there's a big tree we have to defeat. However, we need to do this. What I'm doing here is I'm executing this move where Hyakimaru does a lot of slices. Now the whole point of why I'm doing this is because I'm trying to get a drop. There is a sword that can drop here that saves minutes. Like 3 to 4 minutes. So it is like always worth to try and go for this. You have to get as many slices as you can to try and get the drop. There are 2 different swords that you can get. One of them is a lucky sword, which is what we don't want. Dear. Almost. Okay. I try and get at least 20 because I have gotten this drop on 20, but the higher the hits, the better the chance. It's hard though. Yeah, that was my fault. I think that's the last one, so yeah. We didn't get the drop, but that's okay. So the stone that... Up the stone. So the sword that drops is called Stone Cutter, and it is a lot more powerful than the current sword that we have. And the next sword upgrade that we get is quite a bit away. So getting an upgraded sword at this point saves a lot of time on the next couple of boss fights that you verse. And just enemies and stuff like that. So yeah, it's always worth going for it, even if you do lose maybe a little bit of time, but it's worth it. Because when you do get it, it's like, yeah, I got the drop! That's so cool! And then you get really excited and you save time. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now we have a part to play as Dororo. She's going back to the village. Now that Hyakkimaru has cleared the way from defeating that tree that was at the end. I also dunked her in the pit. I didn't want to do that, but I did that. That's alright. So we have quite a bit of running to do with Dororo here. And then there's gonna be in this next section fireballs raining down from the sky. That I'm pretty sure they're actually raining down from the mountain, because the mountain is trying to deter Dororo from going back to the village. For some reason that we will find out in just a minute. Now these fireballs are random. You have to really look at where they are landing to make sure that you don't get hit by them. It's really important to really make sure of that. Because you get big stagger and you also take a lot of damage too. They don't hit as soon as you are aware of where they're going. It takes a little while for them to hit. And they also, some of them are really big. However, up here on this part, it doesn't give you a warning on if they're coming or not. They just go. Which is sad, because it's a little bit of a shortcut, so I want to take that line. And they get a lot more rapid the closer you get to the village. Please, Dora, we don't want to die. Yeah, see, they do. I have lost runs here from just dying, which is really sad. Also, because of the way that the camera is here, you can't actually see if they're in front of you. If there's a fireball that's going to be like right in front of you as you walk into it. Go, Dora, run! Okay, good girl. Yay! Didn't die. Very good. Okay. Now we're back as Hyakkimaru. And he's gonna defeat the last part of the mountain fiend. Which is going to be its eye. Gonna get it in the eye. Go up here and the boss fight will start. There it is. Now the way that you do this boss fight is you need cannon bullets. So I've collected 5, which is the maximum that you can have. And then you have to shoot it in the eye. Every time you shoot it in the eye, it will close its eye. And rain fireballs from above. These enemies here, the stone enemies are here because they will drop cannon ammo. So if you ran out, you can use them to refill. And you do need to refill at least once. I think I can defeat it with these 2. Oh, this is not good. When it starts getting low on health, the laser will move. Initially, the laser only goes to one location and stays there. I want to see if I can get the mountain to defeat the... I might actually pick this up because of a boss coming up later. I would like to have 1 cannon ammo. Good. Well, actually, that wasn't the last body part, because Hyakkimaru says, oh, it's still moving. So we defeated its hands, we defeated its eye. What is a vital part that we need to defeat in order to break down this mountain fiend? So Dororo, she's back at the village. She goes to where the shrine was. And we find that there is a big, giant heart inside of it. The heart of the mountain. So, Dororo is gonna destroy the heart. And we need firebombs from this. We have to equip firebombs. Unfortunately, you only have 3 that spawn in. So you have 3 that spawn in, and then you have to use them for another 3 to spawn in. So we collect these 3, and we throw them. So there's 3, and then we need actually 2 more firebombs to defeat the heart. And also, when you consume an item, one of Dororo's throwable items, it will automatically go back to her rocks that she has an infinite amount of. So you have to re-equip the bombs. And then after that, yay! Mountain defeated. And Hyakimaru's like, ripping off his shirt. I always find that cutscene so funny. It's like, woo, yeah! And he gets his sense of pain from the mountain. And I always think, damn, of all the things, I think that's the thing you... I don't know. Would you really want that back? Damn, anyway. He got his sense of pain back. And now we're on to chapter 4. Very good.
A giant wall.
We see there's this giant wall of
Southtown, Kagemitsu.
where there's a battlefield. And there's towns around as
Controlled by an
well that we're gonna be traveling through. And we get to see what's going on in this chapter. As chapter 4 is called The Wall. Stumble upon this wall to have a look in it. And there are these foxes that emerge. So this chapter in particular, there are a lot of fox enemy types. And we get introduced to these ones. The famed foxes. Fox spirits. So there's 20 that we must defeat. There are going to be 15 on the floor. They're being pretty good in that they're staying close. What's going on here? Dara, what are you doing? That one was pretty far away though. It's always funny when Dara does an uppercut in front of an enemy and like doesn't hit them. Because she just whiffs right in front of them. It's very funny. I have to do this platforming here to get to the top of the wall, which is where the last 5 boxes will be. Get to collect the little green medicine. Foxes are up here. Now the first boss fight of this chapter is a fox as well. This is the three-tailed fox. Now this boss fight in particular is very frustrating if it goes badly. Because at the start, it's always scripted that the fox will go away from the platform. But then, when it starts getting into the fight more, it is random on if this fox will stay on the platform or run away. We want the fox to stay on the platform. What I'm doing here is I am trying to bait the fox to scream by going in front of its face. I want to keep doing that. It's not guaranteed to work, but it is most likely to scream if you do that, and that was a very good fight. That was very good. That can go so much worse. Sometimes the fox will constantly go away from the platform, and the only way that you can do damage is through bullets. But you run out of bullets, and then you're just sitting there like, this is slow! So it's very painful when the fox is away. Now we have 40 soldiers that we need to defeat here. There's gonna be these soldiers with swords, and then there's gonna be soldiers with spears. The soldiers with spears in particular are very bad. I want to try and control this by having the camera in this way, but I can't always guarantee that the enemies will behave to get close to me. That was really good. I did a lot there. I got an invincibility, very good. So the pots will drop when enemies spawn in. Okay, good. This is really good. Because by having the camera like this and being next to the wall, you can cluster the enemies together. So then your hits hit multiple enemies. Another invincibility pot. That's really lucky. Good, that was good. It can get, when there's mob fights like this throughout the game, it can get really messy when you get staggered and you fall to the floor and you get up and then you get staggered again. It can get very painful. So you want to try and organize the enemies in such a way that, yeah, you try and stun them and attack their backs as much as possible. It can be a little bit hard battling with the camera, but we try our best. We get a little cutscene here that says that Dororo can go under doorways that have little holes in them. Like that. But we don't want to go that way. We want to go this way. We find out that the villagers are possessed by fox spirits or fox fiends. Evil fox spirits. And in the English version they go, "Get out, spy!" Yeah. And they think that you're a spy in the village. There are two little children though that are not possessed that you see in that cutscene. And we're gonna be helping them get to safety. But yeah, they're funny. Get out, spy! Some English dubs are like they're very like humorous, but it's like in a very charming way that you like it, rather than like a cringe kind of way. Yeah. That's not what I want to do. I just want to go through him because he always hits me. And we run over here. Now this is quite a bit of a big running part. Have to run quite a bit around this village. There's a lot of places to go, and there's these breakable doors that you need to go through. That Dororo breaks through. More of the villages. Oh, wrong way. Whoop. Whoop, camera, what are we doing? We're going this way. Also the very classic umbrella yokai. They're cute. Our house is just over there. So we are escorting the kids to their house. Make them go there safely. But in order to do so, we have to do quite a bit of jumping around over the buildings. We go this way. This in particular is really confusing when you play for the first time, because it's such like a maze of how some buildings you can jump on and some you can't because of the height difference. It's very confusing. I got lost here quite a bit. Bit frustrating, but now it's okay because I know where to go. Make it to the bottom and can run to where the children's house is. So this speedrun this speedrun doesn't have any major glitches. This run is glitchless because there has been one small skip found, but it only saves around 30 seconds. And yeah, it hasn't quite been implemented yet. So if you're looking for a game to maybe try and find some skips in, that would be pretty cool, because there's a lot of just running around in this game. So any sort of skips would be really cool to find. I've tried finding some and I almost had success, but then I soft locked. So it didn't let me do the skip that I wanted to try and do, so that was sad. So yeah, anyway. Just gotta try your best. But I think some skips for this game would be really cool to cut down the time on this run. Because yeah, a lot of it is moving around. And I think if there were parts where the movement could be reduced, that would probably make the run a lot more fun for people. I'm actually gonna take this because there is quite a nasty mob fight coming up. Which is with these soldiers again. I'm gonna start this off with a cannon because that will kill quite a few of them. Very mean when they block. The spear enemies are very dangerous because they don't need to be close to you to do damage. There is an invincibility pot there, I want to take that. Also because they also have a bit more health. Archers are not as dangerous. They don't have a lot of health. And they also try and stay away. It can be annoying when they stay away when you're wanting to be aggressive and go fast, because you don't want enemies running away from you. Thankfully they didn't travel too far. Sometimes they can travel really far. Nice. There we go. There are a few cannon bullets to pick up here. That you can pick up here. It's really interesting that this area has such an abundance of cannon bullets. You can really make use of them if you wanted to. That was very mean. There's a cannon bullet to the side here. And then there's one here as well. I don't need to worry too much about picking them up because yeah, there's just so many around this area to pick up. That I will get chances to pick them up. For a fight coming up later. Now we're going to Daigo's Manor. Have a bit of running around to do for that. Here we go down. And then this way. If I didn't have the map, I would get so lost during runs. Sometimes my brain just isn't doing what I would like it to do. And we have another sword pickup coming up soon to get a better sword than what we currently have. She'll be down here. In one of the stables. There's also a fiend here, but I don't need to worry about them too much. So we go from level 15 to level 23. Yeah, so there's the cannon bullets that you can get. So we're at Daigo's Manor, or Hyakimaru's father. And that is his younger brother, Tahomaru. Now we versed the six-tailed fox. So we've versed three-tailed and now we're versing six-tails. Six-tailed fox is pretty mean because this boss teleports. Teleporting enemies are very notorious and rude. I want to try and get to the back of its tails. If it doesn't move like this, it really doesn't let me get close to the back of it. Because it's constantly turning. Try and get some damage out there, but it's still pretty difficult to do so from how rapidly this boss teleports. The best thing that this boss can do is a rapid 3 teleport, like it teleports 3 times rapidly trying to bite you. It hasn't done that yet, but that's the best move that it can do. This move is probably second best because it stays for quite a while. Okay, now it's starting to bite. Very good. So on the third bite, I want to try and stay in front of it a little bit. just to try and get it to stay a bit longer. Sometimes it doesn't always work. But the worst thing it can do is just teleport and not even let you do any damage. This fight can be really slow. It actually hit me from behind there. This move, I really don't like this move in particular, the zapping move. Anyway, that boss is down. Did a lot of mean moves, but that just happens sometimes. And Hyakimaru gets his pancreas! Woo! Hell yeah, we love the pancreas. Very good. Now there are multicolored statues that are around that we need to break to bring down these force fields, or these fields, spirit fields, to be able to progress. There's quite a few of them and there's quite a bit of running around here. We had the green statue, and then there's gonna be also... yeah, there's a flame, like a red-orange flame one. And they always put the statues in very secluded places. I have to go all the way around to this corner over here on the map, is where they put it. So there's quite a bit of traveling for it. Take that one down and then keep going. And then on the map you'll notice that there's like this yellow arrow. That's, yeah, to help you know where to go. So we have to make our way that way. And we go up to the Blue Dragon Bridge. And there's also gonna be some of the color statues on this bridge as well that we have to get rid of. But we're gonna be using the cannon bullets. Instead of having to get close to it, we can just fire a cannon bullet and it will break it for us. So I don't have to run all the way across for it, which is good to do that. Saves a bit of travel time. And then there's one up here as well that I will get. Also defeat a guy as well. He's standing next to it. He also gets defeated. These foxes are very mean. And now this, the blue statue here, this is probably the most tedious one. You have to do a big, like, circle around to get to it. Lots of running around for movement. So I start here, but I gotta travel all the way around to the back of where that is. Actually, if I remember correctly, there's two... yeah. So I gotta go up this way, and then get the blue one, and then go back and get the red one. Bit of running around here. And then you go back down. Go to where the red one was guarded. Over here. There'll be some pesky enemies that spawn in, but they're not too bad. We have another boss fight coming up. Thankfully, they put this here. Can freshen up before this fight, which is gonna be a humanoid fight. So this guy's name is Snake Eyes Saburota. That's his name. And because Hyakimaru views him as a human, he will be doing a human fight in only using his blade that he holds. Now, the strategy I'm trying to do here is if you hit him with... So you jump up and then you do a 3-hit. 2 light attacks and then a heavy attack. You can hit him with the heavy attack on his back when you're going around him. Then he gets staggered and you can actually get quite a bit of damage out on him. And he can kind of get into a repetition of that. And you can do that fight fast. You can kind of get him in like a chain. But sometimes hitting that final hit on him can be a little bit hard. I'm actually gonna save here for this next fight. Just in case.
Here.
Because if you don't save at all during the course of like gameplay, you get put right to the start. So this is the type of PlayStation 2 game that doesn't have checkpoints. You have to reload your save, which is pretty common for PlayStation 2 games. But yeah, this game doesn't have checkpoints. So just in case, I'm making a save there, and I think later on I'll make some saves just in case, because if I die, that's it. Anyway, the first fight that you have is against your younger brother. Now, he is pretty basic and not entirely very complicated, but what we want to try and do is get behind him and hit him in the back. He has some moves that are a bit annoying because he can like lock onto Hyakimaru and keep looking at him, so you can't get behind him very well. But he gave us some good moves. Now we have this fight, which is the 9-tailed fox. The first part of this fight, the fox has like a barrier or force field around it that is protecting it. It has a protection or shield around it. So for this first fight, part of the fight, you just have to hit it a certain amount of times and then you'll go to progress the fight a bit more. It is annoying though because she is constantly floating around and I have to do jump attacks. But once you hit enough, you then can progress the fight. So now we can actually do decent damage now. This is good. So, after a certain amount of time, 9 tails will go up into the air. If you try and attack her now, she will not take the damage. She has her shield up. And she will summon these smaller foxes. These smaller foxes, when defeated, will drop ammunition. You don't need to kill them though, it's not a requirement. In fact, it's probably best not to in terms of speedrunning because you just want to focus on the enemy that you need to defeat, which is Ninetales. This is being a little bit rude though. You can stagger her with the cannon bullets or with the gun. Okay, she's getting lower now. Once the smaller foxes disappear, you can go back to doing damage. That was really good damage. That was really impressive, actually. He did a really good job. It's so funny, Dororo throwing rocks at the fox. Look at her. Anyway, she's cute. Yeah, in terms of Hyakimaru's aiming, he will aim at the thing that is closest to him. So if the smaller foxes are closer than Ninetales, he will shoot them. Now, if I could just stop. Yeah, while Ninetales is up in the air, you can only do ranged attacks to... Very good. Okay, they despawn. Bring out the larger sword, and we get back to doing bigger attack damage. If they could stop... Oh, this is the worst move. When this happens, you just want to get hit straight away. Because they are invulnerable. They... Yeah. No! Wait. Oh, wait, am I still doing damage? No, I'm not, yeah. So close! I'm so close. Okay, how many bullets do I have? I have 6. Not you! I don't want them. Okay, come on, Dororo. Shoot a rock at him! I would love it if you did a rock right now. Not at the little foxes. Oh dear. Here we go, we're almost there. Yay! Defeated. The evil has been defeated. Very good. And from defeating the nine-tailed fox, Hyakimaru gets his heart.
My heart.
And it's so funny because he's like, my heart! I can feel it beating! I got my heart back! I'm a human!
In a wicked twist of fate.
He's so dramatic, but it's like... I mean, I guess you would be if you were getting like a body part for the first time. He's so excited. So there you go, folks. Don't take your organs for granted. They're really cool and exciting. So you better take care of them. It's very important. Okay. Now this chapter is set in like a icy area. First fight that we have to do is against 40 of Daigo statues. And in the story, Hyakimaru and Dororo kind of have like a little fight where Hyakimaru doesn't want Dororo to stay around him because it's dangerous. It's just a little bit of a sad part, but yeah, so now they're separated. And Dororo isn't like following him and isn't fighting with him right now because of that. Okay, that was really good. That was a lot of enemies dead. That also means that a lot of enemies are going to spawn in at once. We have a lot of spear enemies around me right now. Yeah, this is not very nice. I'm trying to, yeah, hit them while in the air to stagger them and then get behind them to do damage. I think there's only archers left. No, there's also one spear guy left. He has a little bit of health. So he just defeated 40 soldiers, and now he's gonna defeat 100 fiends. Even though 100 fiends is a lot of fiends, they don't have a lot of health. A lot of them don't have a lot of health, particularly the starting ones don't. What I want to try and do, because of the way that they spawn, because enemies will want to spawn around Hyakimaru in like a circumference around him. So by staying near this rock, I'm hoping that they will also spawn near the rock. So they can be clumped together. So I can hit multiple enemies with single attacks. Spawning okay, but I have to be really careful with where I'm going, because the more I move, the more the enemies, when they spawn in, they're gonna be spread out, so I have to be really careful about that. Also, different enemy types will start spawning in as well. Like there were some birds that were spawning in. There's also gonna be some... Here come the birds. Also, enemies that have a bit more health, I'm gonna use this. And then there will also be even more that have more health than this. It's also very good to not get too far away from these enemies, because when you are, they will want to charge at you. They love to headbutt and charge. Yeah, see, they're starting to do it now because every time I get hit by them, I'm progressively getting further away. Like, look at that guy in the back there. He's just doing his thing. He's got no cares in the world. Okay, now we're gonna do this. The plants also can move, which is something plants usually don't do. They don't move around like that, but these are fiends, so they can do that. So this is chapter 5, which is called Legion, and Legion is gonna be the final boss fight for this chapter. So yeah, Dororo and Hyakimaru are separated, so Dororo's traveling on her own to go and steal stuff and do stuff. But they aren't gonna be alone. They're gonna reunite later on in the game. So I pick up that cannon bullet so that when they reunite, she can give that to him as a gift. Let's be friends again. Have a cannon bullet. But yeah, cannon bullets are really good, so important to have them. So she's inside this ancient temple and she picks up this orb of light so that she can travel under this statue. Little puzzle here. You have to push in the drawers and then push in this block to get to the next drawer up here. Step on these and the scroll goes up so that we can run down. little bit of movement here, a little bit of platforming that I often struggle with. Just gonna hit that gong again, just to make sure that it stays open. Okay, very good. Sometimes it can be hard to do that. Just because they're a little bit, their movement is really fast when they're jumping up, and if you move a little bit, they move a lot, sort of thing.
Let me go!
So she stumbles upon these people that have no faces in this temple. Someone had been taking their faces away from them. And they're doing their bidding, and they trap Dororo. That was not very nice. As Hyakimura runs here, he comes across someone. This is Misaka, who was the Sword Dragon Brood's sister that we saw like quite a few chapters ago. She wants revenge for her brother's death. But at this point, she is not quite of a fighter, so you can just hit her in the back and she falls over. However, she is going to have 3 fights in the game where she progressively gets stronger. Yeah, she's fueled by grief that her brother got killed by Hyakimaru, and she wants revenge. Give me back my brother, she says. Very sad, but yeah. Now this is Redcap. This is what this fiend's name is. For Redcap's fight, she will do, or they will do, this move where they summon this big electrical green and black orb. So when that happens, I just want to try and stay behind and not be in front. So I jump around when they're trying to do that move, so I'm still getting hits in, and then when she finally does the hit and is doing like a recovery, I can do bigger hits on her. When she hits a certain threshold in her health, she will start summoning little animals like frogs, mice. She's gonna do that again. She typically does this 3 times. Thankfully the little animals don't have a lot of health. Now this is the 3rd time. Well, I think actually it only happens twice. When she does this move, it's very good to try and use the spirit attack, because when you use the spirit attack you have invulnerability. And when she does that, when Redcap does that, she is very much a pain because her whole area around her is going to hurt and stagger Hyakimaru.
My sword arms have leveled up.
And that's that fight. There is a second fight that you can do as a side boss, but it's not a requirement to do it, so we're not going to be doing that. Dororo is here. We have a bit of platforming to do with her here. These platforms and jumping can be really deceptive because sometimes if you try and run or walk and jump when on these platforms, you won't get your first jump, you'll only get your second jump. So you gotta be really careful with that. Sometimes the movement gets very messed up there and you fall down. Just traveling along. There's a bridge here that has some beams missing on the bottom. Be careful not to fall into the holes. There are also going to be some enemies that are going to try shooting at Hyakimaru in a minute. Yep. So I have to be conscientious of that. I should have just waited, but I wanted to try and see if I could jump across before that. Yeah. This is Fudo Mountain. This mountain is actually also in the video game Okami, if I remember correctly. So here, it's a location that you see not just in this game. Now we're versing Misaka for the second time. But she's a little bit stronger. And she's also on ice, which makes the movement a pain. There we go. And that's her second fight. Hyakimaru doesn't want to kill her though. He is just self-defensing against her. It's very sad that like she has this grief that makes her want revenge. It's very sad. Because she doesn't understand that her brother was possessed and wasn't very nice. Oh, I didn't need that. Poor Misaka. She doesn't understand. She's just very sad. Now running along here, I want to make sure I get this one? Oh, not that one. That one. Wrong one. For the cannon bullet. When you're going past those enemies there that kind of look like monkeys or gorillas, they breathe ice that freezes you in place for quite a while, so it's not good to get caught with them. This boss, its name is Thunder Fiend. There is one move that this boss can do which is probably one of the worst. Yeah, it's this. So when it does this, what I'm gonna try and do is take it to this corner to be able to do damage to it. If it constantly does this move, it's gonna be really bad. But what happens in this corner is you can get inside the bubble, the lightning bubble. You get hit by it first, but then when you get up, you can be inside the bubble to be able to do damage during that move. Because otherwise, he will just constantly push you to the floor. And you can't do damage. Like what I'm doing now, I was not in a good spot. This is bad. There's another move that he can do which is a lot better. But if they constantly keep doing that, it's gonna be slow. This is like one of the worst bosses when it comes to time loss. Oh, I didn't know where I am. Yeah, this is a very unfortunate fight. This boss doesn't have a lot of different moves either. I think it only really has 3 different moves. And it really loves to constantly do this move, which is really horrible for the speedrun. I don't know why. It just always wants to do this move. Okay, let's do this. Because yeah, otherwise, during that bubble, this boss will just constantly want to chase you. See, this is another move that it has. This move is a lot better because I can continuously do damage without getting hurt.
My sword arms have leveled up.
The enemy has been defeated. Yeah, that boss is rude. And he gets his lateral muscles. So Dororo is at the waterfall. That's the area where she did that platforming. So now Hyakimaru is going to go investigate that area because she talked to him to say that there's a fiend there. So he's gonna go and defeat the fiend to get his body part back. Doing a little detour here to get a better sword than what we currently have. Over here. So we go from 23 to level 30. If there was a way, I have tried finding a skip for Thunder Fiend. Like to go around his boss arena, that would be an amazing skip because that boss is really, really a pain. A pain in the rear end. Okay, now on this bridge there's another cannon bullet, so I want to pick that up. I'm gonna run around. Over this way. Oh, that was not very nice. I'm glad that sludge didn't hit me though, that would have been worse. These enemies that spawn here, the sludge that they spit puts like this purple aura on Hyakimaru and he goes really slow. So it's really important to not get hit by them. I'll just take this. And now we have the final boss for this chapter for the speedrun. So this is Legion. Legion comes out of the ice. And Legion is this fiend that has all these different arms, I should say. All these arms that are carrying different weapons. And also one of the hands is carrying a flower. Which I thought was, like, kind of interesting and cute. There's probably an explanation as to why for the design. But it's very interesting that all the others are carrying weapons and then that hand is carrying a flower. Emotional support flower. For his fight, you can tell each of the hits I'm doing is doing a white flashing. When he does an attack, I want to try and strafe it to the right side. When on the ice, it is rather hard. But yeah, it's a jumping 2 light attack and then heavy attack. And you can get lots of fast, quick damage on him that is effective. He's also constantly moving around. So yeah. Jumping also helps you move with the boss too. And Hyakimaru gets his nose back after defeating that fight. Gets his sniffer back. Now coming past this shrine again, Dororo, there's this cutscene where Dororo is saying, hey, this is where all the faceless people were. You know, let's go help them and go in there and save them. And we're like, nah. On the speedrun, that's actually not a required boss fight to do. So we're just like, nah, see ya. Sorry. I'm on a mission to go fast. I got no time to save you. Sorry about that. You used to do that fight in any percent because of the stats that it gives. It was thought that that would actually make the run faster, but I started to take that boss fight out of my runs and it was like still manageable and also faster. So it's not a requirement to do that fight anymore. Yeah. Because you can just bypass it, so yeah. Now this chapter, there's like a mossy village here with stone walls. And we're gonna be seeing Misaka again. This is her 3rd fight. And she has gone to the dark side to get power. So she's like, pretty sure she's made a pact with the fiends or something similar. But she is a lot stronger and she has quite a few different moves in her moveset now. She's also a lot more agile. But still, she goes down pretty fast. But it is a bit sad that her revenge brought her to go to the dark side. She's, I don't know, she's sad. She's like a sad situation, I think. Even though she is not very, like, intelligent for, like, doing it. But she's fueled by grief, so yeah, it's just very sad, her situation. Anyway, so now we're at the Cursed Forest. This forest, it is so easy to get lost in. There are many different paths that you can take, and there's also a mini-boss in this forest that you can do. When you play this for the first time and you don't know where to go, you get lost in here a long time, like me. But for the speedrun, we know which ways to go. Basically, you just keep going right and then up and then right and then up until you see the map that is the final map to get to the area of progression. Which is this one with like the very thin path at the top of the map. Yeah, and then now we're getting to the place we need to be. So what happened was in one of the cutscenes, Hyakimaru's father, the daimyo, or the feudal lord that made the pact with the demons are wanting a meeting with him to discuss Hyakimaru with how he has been defeating the fiends and he needs to be stopped. And I think from the demons being here, Hyakimaru enters this area and he gets put unconscious. And then there is this talk that happens with the father and the fiends that we're gonna see here. And while that's happening, Dororo needs to sneak into the building to save Hyakimaru.
Must kill this man who dares to
Yeah, the
defy
fiends are
us.
saying that they need to kill Hyakimaru. The father needs to kill him.
Yakimaru! Yakimaru! What's wrong? Are you alright? He's being kept unconscious by magic.
I need to
Father,
jump.
what is Yakimaru doing here?
And at this point, Tahomaru, the younger brother, doesn't know that Hyakimaru is his older brother. Here I'm going down because there is a sword
Show yourself!
that is a lot more powerful. So we're going to give that to Hyakimaru when we get back to playing together.
Where? Show yourselves!
And the fiends are so funny the way they laugh.
What? The eyes! They moved!
They moved!
Foul demons! I'll destroy you all!
That wasn't very nice. That was very not nice.
We have given Daigo the power to accomplish his goals.
What?
What? So yeah, Tohomaru finds out that his father did that. The younger brother. Now we are versing Hyakimaru's father's horse. Before we do so, we want to make sure that we get the sword that Dororo had picked up because we go from a level 30 to a level 50. So it's a lot stronger. It's going to help us out with some fights coming up. This horse teleports. I do not like teleporting enemies. So I do jumping attacks when it does that breathing move because its legs are too high. And then I do a combo on the floor so that the final moves will hit. He does this dashing attack when he starts to get lower in health. It is very slow. Oh, what are you doing? I don't know what he was doing there. This is very mean. If he could just not do this, that would be great.
My sword arms have leveled up.
Okay. Well, the horse is defeated. Which is, yeah, his father's horse. The horse that his father had been riding throughout the whole game was actually a fiend. Even though it just looked like a normal horse that it was disguised as. Now we have a mob fight of 100 fiends. So I'm gonna try and organize these fiends so that they will spawn hopefully together. So I want to try and be near the wall. Hopefully. But sometimes it can be a bit hard to organize enemies. Now that we also have this sword, we are a lot stronger, and we also have some more moves that we can make advantage of. Like progressively throughout the game, he will get from leveling, getting more blades and getting more body parts, he starts to get more attack combos that he can make use of. That one in particular is pretty good. Now the thing about this being on PS2 and there being so many enemies, well, the game struggles a little bit. So there is a bit of lag that happens. Yep. If it looks like it's in slow-mo, don't worry, it's not your internet, it's just the game. It's just the PS2 like, ah, there's too many people on the screen, what's going on? Too many spawns. I have no idea how, like, a game, like... What are they called? It's a type of genre, but like the like... What are they, I don't think... Are they called Samurai Warriors? The games that have, like, heaps of enemies. And it's like a whole army and you gotta fight them all. There was quite a few games like that on PS2. I haven't played them, but I always thought, wow, how do they... how do they run with so many enemies on screen? This was some good game work on that. I think in particular for this game, it's when the enemies spawn in that it struggles the most. Okay, there's one enemy here. And that will be it. Cool.
Tahomaru, before...
So yeah, he finds out that Tahomaru is his younger brother. Because he didn't know that before. Now we have to go back through the cursed forest. Be careful of the enemies along the way. There's also an enemy called... I think it's 100 eyes or 1,000 eyes. That can do a big stun, so I want to avoid them. That... Hold on, I'm going the wrong way. Oh no, I'm going the right way. I think? No, I'm not. I'm going this way. Oh, am I gonna get lost? I don't want to get lost. Oh no! Oh no. We should be okay. Yeah, okay, we're fine. We'll be alright. If I went the other way, I would have, yeah. I would have gotten lost, but thankfully I didn't. Yeah. Now my brain is questioning itself like, are you going the right way? I don't want to get confused. Oh, okay, I think we're good now. I don't think I have to worry now. How is my health? Okay, good. Nice. I have to be worried about my health for this next fight. Because this fight, you can take a lot of damage. So I have to be careful with that. So this is Boar Fiend. Boar Fiend has a backpack that summons enemies as well as summons bombs. He also has a blade that he uses, but the most dangerous move that he has is when he, does the bombs because of the explosions. It's really good to try and get a full combination attack on his back. But because he summons bombs, it can often be a bit of a pain to try and do. He can also summon some pretty aggressive enemies, but he will only summon more enemies once the previous 3 enemies that he summons have been defeated. I'm also pretty sure it's random which ones he will summon. He doesn't always summon the same ones at the same time. It is kind of worth it to try though because of the damage you get. Don't want to be too close to him when he does that. Okay, we're gonna do this. It would have been good if he summoned bombs there, because then he would have been in one spot. He is walking away. I got too close. They have some pretty big hitboxes for the ground pound. Now, what body part does he get now? He gets his pectoral muscles. So he gets his pecs. There you go. And now we just have to run to get to the end of the chapter. And then we have the final chapter coming up. Woo! Yeah! We're doing it. The final chapter, however, is a pretty long chapter, so there's still quite a bit of content to get through.
At last.
At last. We are at the finale chapter, which is chapter 7. And yeah, chapter 7 has a lot going on, so see how we go. A lot of places to lose time. And it's called Tragedy. So we will see what tragedy takes place. But we must move forward. So this was the village in a previous chapter where all the fox spirits were. It all got burnt down, so it's covered in ashes, and even though the wood is still looking pretty good, but I don't know, it's the wood building stayed intact though, but yeah, it's meant to have been burnt down and stuff like that. Maybe not, oh, not this part though, maybe. I think the ashes must have blown in the wind or something. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just making up war right now. But yeah, in the story it had like a cutscene of burning buildings and stuff, so. But I think that was a different area of town. Which is why the children survived, because they were in this part of town. Okay, we have to go up here. And we get to go to Daigo's castle. You can see it up there in the sky. See? It's there. So that's where we're going. For the finale. There's a lot of different layers in that castle of areas and fiends and things. Now in the castle courtyard, there are archers that are perched up in the watchtowers. And then there are some soldiers here on the floor that we need to defeat. Oh, I don't know how he was so far away, but he was all the way over there. Yeah, the archers are trying to shoot me. So I'm just gonna defeat these guys in the middle first. And then we're gonna go get the archers. When you get close to the watchtowers, there are these guys with spears that emerge. Make sure to defeat them. And then we have to break the watchtower legs so that the archers come crumbling down so that we can defeat them. It is really nice if while attacking the guys with spears that you can hit the watchtower posts as well. But that only happens if they get really close. Thankfully the archers don't have too much health. And then these two in the middle. I used to try and break the watchtower without dealing with the spearmen, so that you could like defeat all the enemies together, but the way that they harass you and poke you around when trying to break the tower is just not worth the time loss. It's actually faster to just kill them first. Yeah, 4 hits. And then they're all defeated. Very good. And the door will open for us. Coming up is one of the hardest movement parts in my opinion. At least I've always kind of found it pretty hard to do. So it's really tricky because here you have to climb up this. And the reason being because at the top of here there is a sword. Now I did that first try, so I'm very proud of myself. That, like, when learning this run is pretty challenging because every time you fail, the enemies on the floor get closer and they want to harass you while you're trying to do it. So the more that you try, the more, like, the enemies are just very annoying and preventing you from being able to do it. And we get our final sword for the run, which is this green glowing sword. It's very cool looking, kind of looks like a lightsaber. And this sword is the most powerful one that we're gonna have for the run. Now, the cannon bullets that I had saved, that I had been conscientiously collecting, I wanted to use for this room. Now these enemies are a real pain when they charge at you. They are definitely a very big pain when they charge at you. They just love to do it. And they knock you so far back too. But when they charge, you can hit their back. Which is very good. We go here. Dororo is trying her best. Yeah, one also really good thing about this longer move is you can hit, like, because Hyakkimaru goes forward a little bit each time, he can reach the back on the final hit. That was not very nice. It's also very good for defeating them. Okay, now we just have ones that are gonna spawn in. Hopefully they will spawn all together, but we cannot trust that to happen. That was a really good spawn right there. It is pretty satisfying to get them all together. Oh, that's the wrong way. This is the right way. So yeah, there's several different colored rooms in this castle that have themes from previous levels and things like that. Because it's the final area, it's yeah, got a few things like that. I need to hit this lever here so that the bridge will go up. And then after putting the bridge up, we need to turn it with another lever, which is up here. There's also a skip that I've been trying to get here, like with going up the poles. Since the way that the structures are, they're not entirely flat. They have like little steps and things to try and to maybe try and find a skip of some sort that... Hello? That was didn't hit any of that. But yeah, there's quite like a few places where it feels like there's an opportunity to find a skip or something to be able to go faster, but sometimes it just doesn't work out, or you try really hard and you can't find it. So this room has little enemies in it. These enemies, after you hit them, they can go underneath the floor, which is not very nice. I do not like that. They're also very cheeky little enemies. I think that's all of them though. Yeah, it is good. Now we're on the other side of where we were. Because right now there is this big fire barrier that we cannot get past. And we need to break something in this room here so that we can get past it. This room is full of traps and fire and spikes, but you can get through it pretty fast without getting interrupted. Because this is not just like you hit the spikes and you take damage. You hit the spikes and it will take you back to the start or back to where the breakable skull was. And Dororo, she just chilled in the elevator the whole time. She didn't even try. She was like, nope, I'm not going in that room. You can go do that. I'll just chill here. So we broke that skull because there's a trapdoor that we can go down, and that trapdoor puts us behind the fire that you cannot get past. And it's also not just the fire, but even above the fire, there's invisible walls so that you can't get past them. Very sad. But yeah, you go down there and then you end up here. Now, because Dororo, she fit through an air vent or a vent that was to the side because she heard these people crying out. So she says, oh, we're gonna go help them. So Hyakumaru was taking a different path from Dororo right now. Now this is Dragon Tank. This is a boss fight just for Dororo to verse. This little part is just an introduction to them. Because the objective here is not to actually deplete their health. The objective here is to put them into the hole here. Now the problem with this is that he does not want to go in the hole sometimes, and it's very, very bad. Sometimes you'll throw the bomb, but the way that it lands depends on like which way that they decide to go. And even if they're really close to it, and you're throwing it at them, they just will not. They will not go in. There we go. Okay. Now before I leave this little area, I want to pick up more fire bombs because we are going to be seeing the dragon tank again. That's the wrong way. That's the way that we came in. We need to go the other way. And Dora finds Tahomaru in the prison cell here. But there are more imprisoned villagers here that need to be saved. So Dora's gonna do that.
Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me.
Gonna hear a lot of "don't mess with me."
Don't mess with me.
It's very cute. Oh, I didn't hit that guy. He can get fully defeated on that. But it probably has to hit behind him and it didn't. Okay, good.
Don't mess with me.
Wait, someone is still alive! I always forget that guy.
Don't mess with me.
Oh well. Now here, coming up, is one of the best parts of the game. So stay alert for this. So we have to save the villagers.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for
And
everything.
we're gonna hear this voice line quite a few times.
Thank you for everything.
Even if there's two of them, it only plays once. It doesn't double up.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything.
And that's it. Yay! Thank you for everything. That's a very PlayStation moment. So we run this way thinking that we can escape, but who comes charging through the wall? It's the dragon tank. So we have to verse this guy. So Dragon Tank's fight is similar to earlier where we have to use bombs. I don't want to be locked onto the boss because I want to be able to pick up these bombs that are up top here. And you want to do jump throws because jumping and throwing a bomb actually does more damage by comparison to when you just throw it. Yay! I had enough bombs. Very good.
Maru.
Now Hyakimaru gets his teeth. He gets his choppers back. Very good. Little fight here where you have to fight, I think it's 10 or 15 soldiers that are behind these paper walls. And when you fight them, they're like a silhouette, and you're a silhouette as well. So it's like a... makes it look a bit like a side scroller. They are actually 3D though, it's just the way that the camera is. Because yeah, it's not entirely flat. It just gives the impression that it's flat from the... This is very cool. I think one of them, yeah. Because they're spears. They can be a little bit annoying. To defeat these fiends to get into the door on the side that we need to go through. And we're going to be seeing a boss that we saw way earlier in the game, but they've gotten a bit of an upgrade. So this is going to be Ogress again, but she's going to be looking a bit different in that she's in a green garb and just looking a lot more green in general. And she also has a extra move that she didn't have before. Oh dear. Going up in the air is not nice. Hopefully you will come down. She also like flies around very fast and a lot more in this boss fight. Oh my goodness. Please come down. She's kind of stuck here though. Oh, this is kind of cool actually. I could have taken more advantage of that, I think. Oh, that's unfortunate. So this move is a move she doesn't have before, where she heals really fast. I was stuck in an animation, so I couldn't even try and prevent her from doing that. Very good. Oh, if you could not do this. Huh? You gonna try and heal again?
My sword arms have leveled up.
And she goes, ooh! Like a pancake. And he gets his lungs! Very good. Okay, and we go through here. So there was a skip here that I was trying to create where you can actually jump up from the bottom up to there. I'll actually show you how it's done. But the only problem is, this doesn't actually work unless you've defeated Ogress. If you hadn't defeat Ogress, you get soft locked trying to do this. If I could just do it, that would be great. Because you can actually hit the door. Or maybe I'll have to just travel around because I'm being silly. Okay, I'll travel around. But you can hit the door, because you have to press circle to open. You get that prompt by going underneath it. And you can go into the door. However, the enemies for the mob fight that happens once you get inside, they don't spawn. So you get soft locked and the door's locked and everything's locked and you're just standing there unable to do anything. So Ogress has to be defeated, but that was a skip that I tried to make a thing, but it was not a thing. It did not pan out how I would have liked it to. But that's very common with trying to find stuff in this game. But yeah, once again, this run doesn't have any skips or glitches. But it would be cool if there was something found, because there's a lot of movement areas where you just move around a lot. So making the time reduce from yeah, that would be a lot. Where is this final enemy? There you are. I thought I defeated you. Yeah, it would be really cool to find something.
I can save the game here.
Now the next boss is in a pretty grand area. Gonna be versing Snake Eyes again. He's much tougher this time. He has quite a few more moves. But this time it's a duel to the death, so we can use anything that we want to, because we find out that this guy is not nice. He's also very anime in that he says the moves he's gonna do. Black mist! He also gets invulnerability frames, which is really rude. But he does get them. Because he really doesn't need them. Yeah, like when he's knocked on the floor, or when he's zipping around, he will be invulnerable. That was mean. He can also do like his basic moves from like his first fight, but he often will do the new moves that he has. Oh, what are you doing, buddy? Whoa! Zipping around everywhere. Black mist. Okay. Whoa, your health is so low! There we go. Yay! The evil has been defeated again. Cool! Alright. Now we're getting to the finale. We're getting close. But there's still like a bit of movement that I need to do. And then there's gonna be 2 boss fights back to back. And I think there's also a little mob fight too. Yeah, here we have, yes, some mobs that are gonna come out. These are the... yeah, the skeletons with the most health. Because they have the blue, the yellow, and then the red health bars. They also have some pretty impressive moves. These skeletons. You can tell there were warriors in their former life. After we defeat them, we actually go on the outskirts of the castle here. And those, really large... I can't think what they are, but they're like really large crossbows. No, I can't think of the word. Anyway, they try and aim at you, but you can actually just go behind them. So that's also really good for just getting past. They try and aim and shoot at you. Yeah, so here you have to... The way you know that you're at the part to progress is when the camera changes. You don't go up, you go down. My brain is not working. And now here, I'm gonna take this cannon bullet. You can actually use these really large... That didn't work. Hold on. Yeah, you can get them to attack the enemies. These guys were not in the area for that one, but you can actually defeat them all just using them if the enemies are behaving. Whoa, that's a lot of damage I didn't want to take. That's a lot of damage I do not want to be taking. Okay. This is not going to be very good if I don't get like a health bar. But we will see. I will definitely make a save before the final part. Okay. So we have some of Daigo's soldiers right in front of the final boss fight that we have to defeat. So enemies will spawn according to location, as that's how they work. So what we really like to do is try and stay up here, because that way they're funneled in like this little area, so then when you hit, you can hit. But unfortunately I'm getting moved around quite a bit, and I am moving around quite a bit, so... Thankfully the spawns have stopped now because we're at the end of the... Okay. Cool. Alright. We'll make a save to the right, and then we'll do the final. Because if I don't make a save and I die, that's gonna be it's gonna be a bit tragic. So let's do that.
Leave the game here.
So this is the second last boss of the game. This is Chimera. It's very dark and evil, and Chimera is this really large boss. Now, its head is the weak point.
I'm done for. Sorry.
So each time you knock the head quite a few times, they will get staggered. They are moving around a lot there. And they get defeated. Okay. Now we're on the final boss. This is Fiend Tahomaru. So Tahomaru gets possessed by a fiend, And now we have to verse our younger brother. And this is gonna be the final boss for our speedrun. He is actually kind of hard to verse in that you really need to be careful on how big his hitboxes are. Because he has pretty wide range. And you can stagger him with the full combo that you can do with the sword. And also, as he takes more damage and gets lower in health, he will start being a lot faster. Okay, when he does this, I just wanted to hit. Oh wow, that was really weird. It didn't even hit me, but he stopped. I was about to say, when that happens, you just want it to hit you straight away, because then he will go back to being like he can actually get hit. So when his health gets to 0, that will be time. That did hit me. That's great. Okay, we just let him hit me. Yeah, he does a lot of teleporting. Prepare yourself. I would like to do my spirit move, but I just don't know if he's gonna stay in one spot. Yeah, during this he cannot be damaged. I don't know why I tried to do that. I thought it might be a good idea. Okay. He's getting close to the death! Come on! Oh dear, teleport. Oh yeah, he also tries to heal. Yay! And time! Woo! Yay! Okay, that is Blood Will Tell Tenzuka Osamu's Dororo 80%. In the 80% ending, Tahomaru dies. Very sad.
Tears. I have
And
tears.
he's crying. Very sad. Everyone is sad.
My poor dog.
And the father as well. He like comes to the realization that the fiends had been deceiving him, and his youngest son dies, and he's like so sad. And
You must fulfill his wishes. Work side by side with the people, as he would have.
yeah,
Rebuild
he
this
tells
country.
him to rebuild the country in a positive way.
force.
No, by working with the people. Become a leader the people can respect. That was Tahomaru's wish.
Yakimaru, do you not hate me?
Yes,
Hate you?
sad.
The fiends manipulated you. There is no reason for me to hate.
My son.
But yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching and
What
for
do you plan to
the
do
Anime
now?
Speedrun Festival for having me. I was really excited
know.
to get to do this run. Thank you.
I'll figure it
There's
out
still a
once
lot
I
of
get
cool
back all
games
my
coming
body
up, so
parts.
please give them your love and support and cheer them on, give them good luck and all that sort of speedrun stuff. Yeah, thank you for watching. I stream on Twitch. My username is Gala. If you want to see me there, I speedrun a lot
gonna
of
do now,
PlayStation 2
Yaki?
games.
I've got to find the rest of my body.
And yeah,
You're not
Thank
going
you.
without me.
Whatever.
bye.
Shadows pass